Okay, let's go back to Victoria now. Michaela Ortolan is on the ground in the city of Shepparton for us this morning. Michaela, good morning to you. So what's the situation on the ground where you are?
Good morning, Michael. I'm at the SPC factory in Shepparton, which, as you can see behind me, isn't surrounded by water like much of the rest of the community. But that doesn't mean it hasn't felt the full impacts of these floods. Now, you'd be well aware many roads are closed right across the region because of water and damage to those roads. And it's proving to be a logistical nightmare for drivers wanting and hoping to deliver produce and other goods and services, not only to the Shepparton area, but right across Victoria to other regions and even into Melbourne. Now, I spoke to one woman whose son works in the transport industry, and she said that he spent the last couple of days trying to figure out a direct route to deliver pharmaceuticals to areas in Shepparton that have been isolated, and even to go down to Melbourne to pick up more supply. Now, he simply threw his hands in the air in the end and said it was impossible and there wasn't a clear route. He had drivers that were isolated in those areas and he couldn't get them out either to help make those deliveries. So the impacts are being felt right across the region. We'd even heard from a staffing perspective, Euroa Health had 70% of its staff that live in the Shepparton region and were unable to get to the hospital to provide that vital care. So they ended up calling Code Brown the other day, but luckily for them, the Department of Health did step in. They sent up around 20 staff to Euroa Health to help relieve those pressures. So the impacts are widespread, and like I said, it's not just here in the Shepparton region, it's the surrounding towns that are feeling the impacts, as well as even as far down as Melbourne. So it's quite a huge impact and flow and effect.
Indeed it is, Michaela. So what is expected there for the rest of the week?
Luckily today it's beautiful blue skies. It's about 25 degrees today, so a bit of relief for the community members. Overnight we have seen those water levels continue to recede, which is great. However, they're just not out of the dark just yet. We've got a predicted rain for the rest of the week, Thursday, Friday and into the weekend. The Shepparton Incident Control Centre is telling us that that rain could cause some rapid rises in areas, so is urging the community to be on alert. But luckily, they're not expecting that water to rise above the flood levels that we've already seen. So in terms of damage to properties, we shouldn't see any additional damage based on this rain. The ICC and the SES are all out there at the moment in the community collecting data on the damage done to properties. So far that figure's sitting at around 4,500 properties and could potentially grow as they continue to door knock. So the advice is over the next coming days, again, stay off those roads when it is wet. If you need assistance, call the SES and just stay as safe as possible. There's still evacuation orders in place for slightly north of Shepparton in Bunbartha. So listen to all those messages and just to stay safe.
Michaela Ortolan in Shepparton, nice work. Thank you so much. Lisa and Madeline, Michaela there mentioned the impact of the flooding on SPC, a huge food producer in this country. We can get more details now on just what this means for all of us.
Thank you, Michael. We've actually got the Chief Operation Officer,